Good morning.
Good morning.
So we almost need music in this room, don't we? Because I've noticed I was standing up here asleep because it's so quiet today. So before we start with the four-way test, can we get a good morning, sunrise?
Good morning, sunrise.
Yay! All right. Four-way test. Of the things you say and do,
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
perfect. So how's everybody doing?
Great.
Great! See, Nick was super fired up for me earlier, and I'm just trying to get there. I got this. I'm fired up. We have a lot of visitors today. There's a lot of faces in here I don't actually recognize or know well. So we'll start here. We've got guests from Rotary. Come on, stand up.
Los Coast Rotary member Matthew Steos.
All right, Matthew.
Los Coast Rotary member Brennan Burke Martin.
All right.
Good morning, this is my mom, Renee, here for the weekend.
Kim Barradell from the Boulder Club of Eureka.
I'm Carson. I'm the Arcata High Interact president.
And I'm Madison. I'm in Arcata Interact.
Nobody back there.
Yeah, this is Lydia. She works at Edward Jones just like I do, and she goes to the Rotary Club of Eureka, and she's getting her blue badge. Trying to, you know.
That's Finn, for those of you who don't know. Hi, Finn.
Hey,
All right. Backpacks. What's going on with backpacks today? I don't.
We're packing backpacks.
We're packing
And Bob
backpacks.
is delivering for us.
And Bob is delivering. Are people who's filling backpacks? Oh, we've got. We have two more. Okay.
Well, I think so.
Make sure that you sign up for backpacks. We got to keep this going. All right. Announcements. I know that there are definitely announcements at this table. So, I should have waited a little longer. I should have been right when you put your food in your mouth.
We're ready.
Announcements. Go.
Go, come on up. All right. How's it going, everyone? We have our 8th annual food and wine pairing at Los Coast Rotary coming up on June 8th, which is going to be at the Sequoia Conference Center at 6 to 9 p.m. And you got a light bulb over there?
No, I just told her it was working.
Go, that's okay. It's at the Sequoia Conference Center. The theme is going to be Peruvian and Ugandan, supporting elementary schools in the countries. And so, anything else on for Danny?
Well, it was my first event last year because I joined last year before that, and it was really fun. And we just got an update from last year. Went towards a water access project in Peru, in Zarite, and up at HSU in the engineering department, we kind of partnered with them, and we got an update from them, and it was cool to just see the affecting change and kind of get to see where the money actually went. Feels really good, and super fun event, delicious food, really awesome. We got local wine this year from Trinity River, and it'll be really fun, June 8th.
Yeah, we don't actually have physical tickets on us because we're picking them up later today at Breast, but we want to plant the seed. We'll probably be here next Friday with physical tickets. But if you want to secure an IOU, ticket with a little yellow post-it note, I'll be glad to do that after the meeting. But yes, thank you.
Nice. Well, we'll see you next week.
Sorry, wait, what is it again? One time?
Yeah, it's June 8th, Saturday.
Okay, June 8th.
Yes.
All right. Announcements. You look like you're right on the verge.
I am on the verge. I just want to remind everybody that June 7th is going to be top 10% in the morning. So we'll be over in the other dining facility. So get ready for that. It's always fun.
don't have to right now. I'm gonna make you talk at some point though. You know what? Why don't you come on up front? Let's just put you on the spot. It's more fun that way. All right. You gotta talk about that spaghetti food because you need to tell us the numbers.
Well, the Arcata Interact did our annual spaghetti dinner to raise money for RCAS, the Rotarian Action Group Against Child Slavery. And we did pretty well. We raised over $1,000 for the cause and put that in last week and sent that to them. And we're just thinking of different ways to change it for next year so we can do even better. And I think it went really well.
Excellent. So, as you all may know, that was the same night as our event after we chose to move our event to that night. So, I told her that if she didn't make $1,000 with their entire club and the benefit, that we would donate to fix the difference. But since you made it, we will still donate $100 to you.
Oh, well, thank you. That was really helpful.
So, thank you.
Anything we can get.
And anything else you want to say?
I'm just glad to be here. I've never been to one.
Perfect.
Welcome.
Thank you. Announcements. Back table. Middle table. Front. Man, I see. I am clearly boring people today. And the reason I say that, I see a lot of phones. You must hate me. But anyway, since that's the case, I'm going to talk about Taste of Spring. Hey, it's only 11 months. Are we going to do the same theme? Are we looking at the same theme? Do I have the right dates on this? We'll figure it out. Oh, man. I think I'm a year off. But I have a good poster. We're already ready. We're starting to go. But instead, you can talk about the one that we just had. Do you want to talk about it? Sure.
I sent the thank you email out, so I hope you guys all got that. I sent it to Howard. Seriously, thank you guys, because there were so many people that day that just didn't sign up, but just came anyways and helped, and that was pretty amazing to see. Just a Rotary Club come together. And then it was nice to see the event just unfold all of a sudden. There was just like nobody, and then boom, a couple hundred people. And I'm sure that's how it is for Taste of Holidays, but for me that was kind of nice to, that's my biggest worry is like people not coming. And they came, so that was cool. And we had good feedback from the vendors. Everybody had a good time, even though we didn't have as many vendors. It still seemed like it was just enough. And so there's already plenty of stuff that we're going to do next year that we're going to at least talk about and try to fix. And I took a bunch of notes. So if you have any, feedback or good criticisms, let me know, because that's what we're about, is trying to make things better. Kind of like the spaghetti feed, we're going to do better. So yeah, things went pretty good. Our final numbers just came in. I think, did you email it to the club or just to select you? Just you, but and the board. So essentially, I think we brought in 22,000 for the gross. The top number before all our expenses. Our expenses were pretty high this year because we had to buy a bunch of stuff. Like bought more cups than we probably needed, but that's because we're going to use them next year. We had to buy some more decorations, so it was about 8,000 in expenses, but we still netted about 13,000, I think. Yeah, but probably some people still have some money to turn in. Probably, knowing our club, probably. So yeah. So we made about 13,000. Pretty cool. Yeah. I know. And what I noticed when I was looking at the numbers, what's even better is that almost half came from raffle tickets, which is pretty amazing. Like it was like 9,000 or 10,000 or something like that. And our event tickets were only 11, and we were shooting for 20. So, I mean, just next year if we sell our event tickets maybe a little bit sooner, or just better, sell more, or sell your 10 like we're trying to get you to do, and we do the raffle and our expenses are lower, I mean we could do so much better. So, really excited about that, and the first time,
Great first year. Great first year.
Glad it's over. No, just kidding. Well, yeah.
Do you have any idea how many tickets came in the door?
That's a good question. I do not know that.
Attendance?
We'd have to ask Nick, he's probably over there. Yeah, we'll talk to Nick later too, because he was the one letting people in. But that's a good question, because you're right. Of the 11,000, how many actually came in? I'm not sure. It looked like a couple hundred people, but I had a couple drinks, so I don't know. Anything after 6 was good. I'm just kidding.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I went to his last year.
Have you been to Taste of the Holidays?
I haven't actually.
You should go to them.
Yeah,
That's a good.
but yeah, it was really fun. I definitely drop some dough on raffle tickets.
Right?
It's enticing.
Okay, and then that should do the people that won the raffle. So the wine almost was the best prize, and it was like $3,000 for the wine.
Yeah.
Everybody went all out on a couple of them. There's like 8 $100 bottles, over 100, or 11 $80 bottles, and then a bunch of others sprinkled in. So that was almost the best prize. That guy bought like a couple $100 worth of raffle tickets. The second place winner with $2,000 bought like a couple $100 worth. The person that won Mexico bought one ticket. I know.
And
One
she
ticket.
may happen to be the president of the Fortuna Noon Club.
I can confirm that. I was there yesterday and she got aptly fined by their past president.
Excellent. Excellent.
Take that money here.
She is supposed to give us some feedback. She's supposed to have a scheduled program here to tell us about her vacation and how she did things to help Rotary on it. So, I gave her tickets grudgingly and said, "You bought one ticket?" She felt very bad. So if you see her, say, "Wow, thank you for supporting Rotary." Next time.
Next time, buy 100.
So, other questions?
Yeah, anything else? Dick?
I just want to say, chairing an event like this is quite a chore under the best of circumstances. But when you've got a newborn, that's going above and beyond.
Yes. So thank your wife.
I did. Yeah.
And make sure that you thank her for us, because you did a whole lot of stuff right after she had a new baby.
I was in the hospital calling vendors actually. So, like the next day, me and Lisa were on the phone, emailing people, and getting vendors.
Well,
Baby's a future Rotarian now.
And he's already got a good pass set up.
think about how much easier next year will be.
Oh, wait.
It's like, oh, well,
Unless she gets
it's
pregnant.
less.
Unless she gets pregnant.
Let's wait, twins or something.
Yeah, you can have another, you can,
Oh, of course, yeah.
perfect, there you go, set it up.
I mean, if we're the first time, you just keep doing it.
Oh, wow.
I
Are you saying Triple Crown, is that?
That's
Perfect. So, I'm a little sad, but we can actually get Tom to talk about this a little bit, because I'm gonna make you look at this in a moment. But this is the sign in front of the Bayside Community Hall, which is fantastic how much they've made. And look how much love we got. So, who was able to work on this project at all? And who remembers what this place looked like before? Yeah, because when you look at it now, it's an amazing difference. And I realize that I've shown these photos and I don't have an updated one, but I'd love to give you time so much, Tom, and I'd love to talk about this, and it's perfect. You have your mom here so you get to brag about how awesome you are. So, you know, we're talking about how awesome people are today. We had an awesome chair, we had an awesome project, and there's something to say. I mean,
It was a good project. It was great that it's an old building. It's fun. We go into a lot of old buildings, and that one certainly had its issues. And it's that back wall is out by about 4 inches. It's dropping off. And it doesn't really show it in the picture, but it actually looks like all the cabinets are crooked and the building's straight. Yeah, it's all mahogany. And, yeah, it looks good. We did a portable bar there, and then it was too big, so we ended up making another one. That's the one Scott said he did in about a week. And, so I'm really happy for them.
yeah. So if you haven't had a chance, make it up to look at this. You know, it's a little strange to see it, but this is the view from actually in the hall back towards where the bar is. But get out there. They love us, and you know, it's clear that we love them. So I'm hoping that we get to continue working with them. I know that there's a lot still going on there, and we'll be there for some time.
So if you didn't get a chance to already help out, there's a work party there on Saturday, June 1st and Saturday, June 29th. There's a Facebook event, and then I think Howard had sent around an email, and it was on the bottom of the email, to just let them know if you're going to be there, because they're going to provide lunch. And so it's 9 to 5, so you can stop by for an hour or two or however long you want. And they're gonna do all kinds of things around the building and in the building, so hands-on.
Fantastic. So yeah, let's get out there. And I don't know if you haven't got your president project for the next year. I mean, there's still stuff there. There's a lot out there. So, all right. Now I'm gonna just skip. I only have one photo from Japan because I tried the other ones and they won't load on my machine. But I've seen a lot of people get pictures of Mount Fuji, and that is actually probably the best picture I've seen.
We were so lucky. We were just, it was, we saw Mount Fuji that clearly for about 3 days from different aspects. It was perfect.
Has anybody actually, other than Terry, who's seen Mount Fuji? We've got a couple. When you were there, did you get that good of a view?
I'll give me your email address and I'll try to pull mine out.
All right, perfect. Because that just amazes me.
You know, Ray, well, I've been there, many times, and I'll tell you, you can be there for a month and not see it because of the weather and the clouds.
Yeah. I spent all of 2 days there, and I didn't know it looked like that. As a matter of fact, I didn't really know there was a mountain there. So, all right. So, I love cryptic photos, but someone in this room has to know what this is. I know you at least know what this is.
Anybody want to guess where that is? We've got one of our members and ambassadors riding that boat for, I think, 5 nights. And Travis over in Brazil is just wrapping up his rainforest excursion. And a lot of the rainforest is accessible by river. And so he took this funky old boat, and he said he had a great time with all the other students and exploring the wilderness of a different kind of jungle than we have.
Wow.
He's, I don't know if you can tell by his face, but he actually does have a little bit of a fear of big snakes, as most reasonable people do. So these are some of his friends, and his new friend, the snakes.
So, one more.
I think his new buddy here is really representative of what life on safari in Brazil is all about, is being sloth.
He doesn't look like he's as afraid of a sloth as he is the snake.
You see those claws? It's interesting.
I think the sloth looks scarier than the snake, personally, but it's a lot cooler. All right. We know who's coming next, don't we? I don't even have to say anything, and you're ready to come up because I have to say, I love the fact that you wore a bow tie. It's great.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to hand this to you, and you can go through and explain, and you'll see your briefcase.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, so this was this weekend in Reno. We went there and didn't go on Friday to school. We left at 7 o'clock here at the plaza, and then we drove first down to Santa Rosa, picked our exchange students up, went back a little bit up, and then crossed over to Reno. And we arrived at Reno, I don't know, something after noon. It was quite a long ride, but it was fun because it was on the bus, and so it wasn't too bad. And Zane, the outbound, which will go to Indonesia, we were at Safeway, I guess, and so we wanted to have breakfast. And so what we bought was 8 croissants for $3 and like a chunk of Nutella, and then we had our croissants with Nutella, and so that's how we started the trip. That was a lot of fun. And so yeah, this one is the picture at Saturday night. Rotary set up a prom for us, and so the prom was really, really fun, even better than the junior prom at Acada High School. I'm sorry. It really was better. It was a lot of fun, especially because we were 4 districts, and so there were like a lot of exchange students. I know we were about 50, I don't know, yeah, something around that. And so it was really, really fun with all the exchange students. Yeah. Oh yeah. So this one is the next day at the district conference. We had to get up at 5 I was quite early. We got kicked out of bed at 5. Not many people were happy about that because it was planned that we get up at 6, but then there was some trouble, and so we got kicked out of bed at 5. And the district conference started at like, what was it, 8, 7? Yeah, something around that. And so for the district conference, we learned the day before a dance, a flat dance, and we had quite a lot of fun. I was in the easiest group, so I didn't have such a hard part to dance. So I was quite easy. And yeah, it was super fun. And on the district conference, we sat with other Rotarians on the table, which was also nice to talk to other Rotarians. Always 2 exchange students with, like, I don't know, maybe 4 other Rotarians, which was really fun. And then, yeah, this one is after the dance, and with all our blazers. Now we have some more pins from all the exchange students. And yeah, it was a really, really fun weekend. So there it is, another picture from the dance. And the dance was really fun, especially because it was like another party. And so after the dance, our dance from Rotary was over. We cleaned up, so that was like how Rotary got us to clean up. And then we cleaned up an hour, and then we could go as like an after party to the other dance until 11. And it was a super fun event. I'm super thankful for Rotary, and especially Rotex who set the prom up for us. That was really fun. Yeah, that was my weekend.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Are you busy the entire rest of the time you're here? You got stuff just packed in?
Yeah,
Yes.
I really have. No, it's just.
You here
Yeah.
Are you here next week?
Yes.
Excellent.
Finn, what are you doing this weekend?
Oh, I'm probably in the sculpture race, so.
You are in the sculpture race! You are in the sculpture race! It's a once in a lifetime!
Yeah, so I can ride with a bike, and I can take a friend, so I'm excited for that.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So are you going to have pictures?
Hopefully, yeah. Yeah, I will take some.
Hey Ray, is anyone else in here racing? Actually, like, has the machine?
We're with you.
So I just want to shout it out. Steve McCaney is piloting. He's going for his 3rd year as Grand Kinetic Champion. I would also like to win some other award. I'm going for People's Choice. So if you're on the plaza on Saturday, look for Shoshana. Steve's machine is amazing. We'd love to win People's Choice. So anybody can vote. You just give Shoshana like, hey, like I want to vote for People's Choice. And so he's Trilobite Carnival. He'll have a big red and white stripe thing. He's got games on the front. He's got a fortune teller. He's got a love tester. He's got a ticket seller. We've got popcorn. So just a little shout out for Kinetic.
If you forget the name, just look for the crowds of people wearing bright pink shirts and ridiculously giant hats.
Yeah.
That'll be everybody that day.
You won't see other people in bright pink shirts.
I'm already there.
I know.
So we'll watch for that. We should have pictures for that. You're gonna have to give us some good
Oh,
pictures.
I'll give you all pictures. No problem.
Okay. So I like this game of just put up the picture and let the person who knows what they need to say it. So you have to absolutely come up front if you have something to say about this photo, whoever it may be.
So that's my daughter Kayla, and for those of you that have been in the club forever, have seen her since she was a little thing. She was in Sunnybray Interact, she was in Arcata High Interact, went away to school to University of Santa Cruz, and her only goal after she graduated was to live in San Francisco, which she managed to do for 5 years, and decided that maybe she should do something else besides that, so she went to law school. And so she graduated from the University of San Diego just last weekend, so there she is. So, she's studying for the bar now, that'll be at the end of July, and so you don't like to talk, you don't want to jinx anything, so you don't talk about your future plans until you pass the bar, because if you don't pass the bar, you're studying again, so. That's the family though, my other daughter's on the other side of my husband, Steve. For those of you that know Bruce and Norma Watson, that's their youngest daughter, Felicia. And the guy at the end, tall guy at the end is Casey Cuello, who also is an Arcata High graduate, went to Pacific Union. Lacey and Casey are getting married this summer. So, that's it.
Okay, so before you run away, you might, because you're the one who gave me these photos, you are now stuck explaining these.
Well, no. Come on up there.
Oh, well, there is here. I didn't see him coming. I was like looking, I kept looking over there. That's hilarious. I'm blind. Okay, so you can speak about your photos then.
So our oldest son is now living in Nottingham, England.
You didn't have to put them all of it.
Yeah, so when Niall was 12, he was doing nothing but playing video games. And I said, no video games until you get another extracurricular activity. And he spent 9 months not playing video games because he's very stubborn. So I said, you can pick whatever you want. I don't care, but it has to be something. So he chooses something called Warhammer. I don't know if any of you know what that is, but they buy little kits and they make models and elaborate terrain, and it's kind of like a video game on a tabletop with large books for rules and such, but they're actually socially interacting with people. So I'm like, okay, I did see anything. Well, I was pretty sure by the time he was like 18 and he was still in his room, doing this and painting models, that he was going to be a hunched up old man in his room forever. Excuse me. Anyway, when he went to school in San Francisco, he worked at the Games Workshop store. He was, pretty obsessed. And now he works for the Games Workshop company as an editor of their magazine in Nottingham. So that's why we went. Yeah, I know. Things come around.
I was wondering how you were tying that together. I'm like, this doesn't look like a tabletop game.
I didn't put pictures of the place, but it has, his room is filled with little tiny men that he'd left, in our house because he's overseas. But that whole place is filled with little tiny men everywhere and monsters and such. So it was pretty cool. I should have put a picture of that up. But anyway, yeah, that's why we went. We met him in Ireland. This is, I'm not going to say it right, Carrick-a-Reddy. It's the rope bridge that goes over where fishermen used to go and fish between rocks. It's a very touristy, and there were a lot of people there. But, I came home just realizing the beauty of Humboldt County, because Ireland's beautiful, but so is Humboldt County, and we have trees. So, yeah, that, we lived there 29 years ago, so I saw a very good friend for the first time in 29 years, and she's a tour guide and a linguist, and she took us through York, which is an amazing town. It's incredibly preserved for their heritage and all of that. So she gave us a wonderful tour, and this is the printing press devil for people who were illiterate but had to go to bookstores to pick up things for their, cousins basically. They would know that that was the printing press because the devil was up there, and then there were other markers like that throughout the town. And if there's an error in the print of a newspaper, it's because of the printing press devil. They probably have a better name for him, but it was very historical, very interesting. Yeah, terrifying what people do to each other, and not just back then. Yeah. This is, all of the signs by churches for crossings showed these people hunched over. I'm going to be there someday, walking across the street with my cane.
I wondered what this picture was about. I looked at it and I'm like, I think that's for the sign.
It is. Yeah, the British have a funny sense of humor. We also went to see the Book of Mormon. It's been a long time like this. It was hilarious, but irreverent. I'm not telling any of my Mormon friends that. If any of you are Mormon, I apologize. The church did, however, sponsor a full-page ad in the book for the Book of Mormon. This is my friend Nadia, and we're in York, and we're at a leaning house because everything's very old and preserved there, and that one looks like it's going to fall apart. We really enjoy the pubs. The first thing we did when we got to Ireland was go to the Guinness factory, which Guinness from the draft in Ireland is much better than the bottles here. We went to the oldest pub in Dublin, and then also the oldest pub in Ireland, or in England, which is in Nottingham, where Niall is.
Oh, now this is a fun question. Which is better?
They were both really good. We went to lots of pubs. Yeah, it was excellent. This one is very cool because it's dug into, the caves are dug into the limestone, so they took us back for a tour of where they keep all of the kegs, and yeah, because Nottingham has a ton of limestone caves carved out under the city. And that, I think, is at one of the gates in Dublin. That's our sun dial. Yeah.
I don't see any little figures. With...
Yeah, little men. Yes, probably one on his shirt.
You're gonna have to give us a picture of all these little men.
Oh, I can do that. I have many. Yeah, there's a 3-story museum in the Warhammer World building that's just I don't know how many thousands of hours these people spent.
It's amazing the things people do.
Yes, it is. They have their own pub and a big room where people go in and play games and drink beer.
I was gonna say, I think maybe you gave him a new hobby that at least is social.
Yeah, true. Yes, yeah. It's a little worried.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to do this a little different this week. So normally I have somebody totally in mind. So, does anybody have someone who they think should be the Rotarian of the Week this week? Somebody's got to be fired up for someone, right? Yes, this is what I'm talking about.
Patty Campbell.
Patty Campbell.
Because I sent out an email to the last few people who were on the Final Friday list for next week, and about 4 people wrote me back. Actually, it should be split between Patty and Brian, because they both wrote back to me and they said they are not going to be here the 31st, but they made other plans, and so they're my personal.
Who sent you the email first, Patty or Brian?
Patty.
Oh, sorry, Brian.
That's a really low bar.
Okay.
You don't know what I deal with sometimes.
So the bar for Rotarian of the Week is not low or high. The whole point of it is somebody makes your life better. And basically, that makes my life better because if Terry's happy, then she's not yelling at me for something that I've done. So, no, that's why I know that you're all doing a great job because Terry doesn't yell at me.
But I would like to say one of the reasons I responded so quickly is because I had just gotten a thank you note, a handwritten thank you note in the mail from her for a donation that I had made that I thought was required anyway. So I was not expecting a thank you note. So I would throw it back at Terry.
So here's that's fun, but she beat you to it.
Okay.
So you're Rotarian of the Week, but raise your hand if you've ever gotten a card from Terry. Wow! People get cards. That's crazy. You kind of do a lot. You might have to be on that list for Rotarian of the Week.
Has anybody got a cat card from Terry though?
Yeah,
I got that one.
Yeah.
I just have to say, Shutterfly is my friend, and beyond that, the Shutterfly app on my phone is a very expensive thing to have. And then they have my credit card number and I get stuff.
So, I don't actually have them in the slideshow, but do we have any committee updates? You look like you were on the verge. No?
Well, it was really easy, but we got Patty and Steve vetted, so yay! We're on our way to getting everything done for our inbound next year. And Travis is doing great. You already announced that he went to Brazil though, and he'll be back on June 20th, I think. So.
Where's he inbound from?
Back from Brazil.
We had a community service meeting at 7 a.m. on Wednesday, and we have some awesome things in the works. So the Peninsula Project is a garden there we're going to fix up and add some new raised beds and a shed possibly. We're working on the grant for that. So that will probably be in AJ's year. And then we had a little extra money in our budget, so we talked to Brett, and we're possibly getting some, I don't know what you call them. They're like bike repair stations that'll be cemented into the ground, and we'll have cable cords with all the tools to fix your bikes. So we're looking to get a couple of those, and it's okayed by the city so far. So, and then maybe some water, like hydration stations within the ballpark, but that'll probably be next year project. So, cool. Anything else that I'm missing?
No, Rotary Park.
Oh, Rotary Park. We want to have a play day there, and Vanessa's going to go by and see everything that we might be able to fix. Maybe add some wood chips. Because it's been a while since we hung out there, and then we'll have a barbecue, and that was what, June 21st possibly? Yeah, so we'll have more updates for you.
Nice. You did just have firesides too.
I did, yeah.
Do you want to say anything about your fireside?
definitely appreciate that all the people that came and offered feedback. I felt like I got a lot of good input and was able to share some of the ideas that I have for the year. So I'm really excited. A board retreat at the end of this month, and I guess expect an email because I'm kind of figuring out committees right now and to see who's not on a committee and see if anybody wants to mix things up and see if they want to try a different committee. But I'm really excited for my year. I think we have a lot of good projects that will keep us going and find some hands-on things and some good social opportunities. So thanks for the support and for coming, and yeah, I look forward to having some good times.
Fantastic.
Do we have a couple of minutes?
We have a lot of minutes.
I have two things then. One is next week it begins the Rotary Convention in Hamburg, Germany, and Andreas and Maggie are both going to it. And Andreas is already there. I think Maggie must be on her way too. So for those of you who have not been, who's been to a Rotary International Convention? Okay. So I've been to 12 and Marty's been to 6. And I have to say that it's a whole new level of understanding of the breadth and depth of our great organization. And the good news is that next year it's in the United States again, although you do have to fly across water because it's in Honolulu. The registration will be open next week, and the venue evidently is not as massive as some. I think they're limiting registration to 25,000. So you'll, if you're interested in going to Honolulu next year, you'll want to look on the Rotary website and register sooner rather than later just to get a spot. I know Dustin's going. I don't know who else is planning to go right at this point. I would go, but it's really hard for me to take Marty to tropical places and expect him not to be on some kind of a board out in the water. It's kind of like the caged lion going through Africa because he sits in and looks out at the ocean, and it's just sad. So it's just sad. Sometimes I can bribe him, but it's hard. So the other thing is, one of the avenues of service is club service, and it's kind of it's not as exciting as community service or international service or vocational service because we don't give money to people. What we do is make the club work nicely, and we're kind of the administrative side of it. And one of the critical pieces of it is Sergeant at Arms. And Nick's right here. And everybody who has served on the Sergeant at Arms committee, please stand up. Okay, so these people get here early, they set the room up, and they take your money, and they keep track of all the money and make sure that the money gets to Brian. And so anyway, it's really an important thing that they do, and it's not easy and it's not glamorous, and they're always eating breakfast when it's slightly cold too. So anyways, a shout out to the Sergeant at Arms Committee and other parts of that. Parts of club service are the membership committee who finds new members, the mentorship committee who kind of nurses them along and helps them learn about Rotary once they get here, and the program committee, which Howard and his committee have done a great job with getting us interesting programs. And if there's anything that you know of that would be a program, just let Howard or somebody on the committee know, and we'll try and work it in because I think it's really important. It's a good reason. Not everybody's a morning person. And so we have to reward the people who aren't morning people who get up and get here by 7 with interesting and fascinating programs. That's my
It's good that Terry stood up because, speaking of interesting programs, next Friday is my final Friday. So, I don't know if everybody got the email. I'm sure you all got the email. Did you read it? Now, if you did, dress up. Wear a suit, wear a gown. I know a lot of you got to go to work afterwards. I already heard it from a couple people back here. I won't name any names. But you may not want to go to work dressed up. So if you want, just wear something strange. I mean, maybe you have a hat left over from the spring fundraiser. So just kind of mix it up. We're going to do a lot of crazy stuff. I promise I won't say a word. I'll just stand up here. That's my whole deal this time. We're going to let Terry do all the talking. I'll just stand over here. I'll be her Vanna White next week. That's it. So,
one more announcement. One more. If I would have known he was going to be here, I would have sent you guys a picture. But Matthew got his master's this last weekend.
Oh my God.
I'm going to Australia to fully finish my master's at University of Sydney in 3 weeks. So at the end of June, I'll be a fully official master. But yes, thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate that.
Raffle?
Yeah, let's go. All right, how about, you want to pick out 2 tickets for me there? Thank you. Go ahead and read what's the first one say?
694662.
Did you get that one? What was the last 3? 642.
Wow.
All right, Pam. What you got there? $5, all right. And then what's the next one say?
605.
All right, anybody got 605?
Who was right after you?
It must be you.
Yeah, it was.
Nobody got 605?
Right here.
Oh, right there, okay.
Sorry, I was elaborate.
All right, here we go.
Okay. Oh, there's lots of balls. Lots of balls over there.
Yeah. Oh, another 5, all right.
Bring it even today.
All right.
Good day. All right. So I apologize on the program for today. The program for today kind of got muddled up. So that's kind of changing what the program is. There's a lot of people here, and I know that usually this turns into a, oh, well now I'm going to have an excuse to run away. Don't run away. We are going to have fellowship because we have not been having any fellowship outside other than things like firesides and the fundraiser. So talk amongst each other for a few minutes, and then I will ring the bell in 5. But I will leave the reminder up, fill backpacks.
Fellowship with backpacks.
Yeah. Fellowship with backpacks, yes. So 5 minutes of fellowship, then 5 minutes of fellowship with backpacks, and we'll be all done. All right, so everybody can now do fellowship backpacks.